Lawyers for embattled Ashanti Region Chair of the NPP, Bernard Nchibwesiako, seek a plea deal in the 30 million cedi Exim Bank loan fraud case at the Accra High Court. Also this hour, the highly anticipated 2026 World Cup kicks off at the iconic Estadio as co-hosts Mexico face South Africa in a replay of the 2010 edition's opener. Also, this afternoon will take you to the eastern region where 6 suspects have been arrested in connection with the cultivation of cannabis at Insuta. It's News Central, live here on TV3. I'm Kemini Amano. News Central starts right now. Now, the Ashanti Regional Chair of the NPP, Bernard Nchibwesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, has requested a plea bargain in the Exim Bank case in which he is alleged to have taken a loan fraudulently at the Accra High Court. The Office of the Attorney General has formally notified the High Court of the request in a notification dated June 11th, 2026. The Prosecution's Division of the AG's office informs the court that the first accused person, Chairman Wontumi, through his lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, had expressed interest in pursuing a plea negotiation process in relation to the charges against him. Lead counsel for Chairman Wontumi, Andy Apiakubi, has joined us here for a quick conversation on the back of this. Counsel, good afternoon to you. Now, tell us why your client is now backing down as far as this trial is concerned and asking for a plea deal.
Good morning to you, or good afternoon. The case is still before the court. And you are preferring wrong because there is no charge as having been a loan fraudulently. No, that is not the point. The charges are different from what you're saying. Never we have applied for plea bargaining, which the right at the laws and
Counsel.
Yes.
Counsel, if you could speak up a little bit for me so I can get the import of what you're telling us.
What I'm saying is that I'm seeking to correct the charge as you prefer. It's not the same as the charges in the court that my client obtained a loan fraudulently. That is not the charge. So let's have that correction.
Right.
Number 2, we have applied for plea bargaining, which is available to suspects or accused persons under the laws. And we have tabled a proposal before the Attorney General, awaiting the Attorney General to convene a meeting of the parties to discuss the details of the application. So for now, what I can speak to is the fact that, yes, my client has filed an application for plea bargaining.
I see. So let's, do first things first, right? You say the charges, as we have announced in this broadcast, are not correct as they are at the Accra High Court. What really are the charges in this particular case?
To be honest with you, the charges whether on alleged submission of full documents, and this is captured under perjury, not fraudulent transactions.
I see. Now let's talk about that plea deal. Is this indicative that your client didn't think that he could prove his innocence in this matter?
We don't have to go into the details of the charges because whether or not the charges can be sustained is another matter which we haven't gotten there. So for now, we can only speak to the charges and the attempts being made by the parties to settle the matter. So let us not proceed because it is not within our right to even investigate or interrogate the charges even at this point.
Well, other than that, What are the terms that you're taking to the state on this plea deal?
No. I don't think that is fair on the Attorney General for me to be discussing the terms of the plea bargain application even before we sit down. What I can tell you is that we have just made the application, but I am not in a position to discuss the terms of it because that would be most unfair and most prejudicial.
Fair enough. Are you hopeful that the state would accept this plea deal?
Oh, I cannot say that. I cannot say yes or no. It is an application before the Attorney General. Let us give the Attorney General the necessary respect of reviewing the application and convening the meetings so that both of us can put together our arguments and come to a conclusion. But for now, we cannot preempt what will happen between the parties. So please, give me this opportunity and let me not prejudice the Attorney General.
Very well then. Very well then, Counsel. We'll connect again on this subject matter after your meeting with the AG.
You properly on the charges. The charges are defrauding by false pretenses contrary to Section 131 and uttering of a false document contrary to Section 169. These are the charges.
Very well, Counsel. Let's connect again after your meeting with the Attorney General. Is that happening today?
I don't know because it is the Attorney General who will invite us into the meeting. So as and when we get this invitation, we will respond appropriately. And then when it is done, then we can discuss the terms after the Attorney General has given us opportunity to create a case.
Very well. Now, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for talking to us. Andy Apiakubi is lead counsel for Chairman Wontumi, who's now seeking a plea deal in one of his cases at the Accra High Court to do with the Exim Bank. Now, away from that, a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Patrick Yabuama, has cautioned against potential misrepresentation and propaganda by government in the handling of xenophobic cases or attacks against foreign nationals in South Africa. He says the sensitive nature of this issue requires a measured and factual approach that reflects principles of diplomacy, adding that the foreign minister must urgently appear before Parliament to address pressing concerns. Patrick Yabuama notes discrepancies in accounts by local and South African officials, expressing worry about the investment challenges any mishap could create.
We know that there are over 25 to 30,000 Ghanaian nationals in South Africa. It will be very good for the foreign minister to come and brief the House, because we don't want any propaganda, misrepresentation, or any form of unconventional diplomatic means to be adopted. Ghana and South Africa have enjoyed enormous diplomatic relationship. Look at the investment South Africans have in Ghana, MTN, Stanbic Bank, a lot of investment that the mining companies, Goldfields and other companies, and what they've brought into this country in terms of jobs, in terms of revenue. So our push is for the foreign minister to come and brief the House so that we can also, as a House and as a Parliament, assist in ensuring that diplomatic relationship between South Africa is not ruined, so that any issue that the government or the foreign minister has with some of the issues that he thinks must be addressed, the House can also be apprised of it so that we will address it. If you listen to some of the press conferences by the South African foreign minister, he is not accepting what our foreign minister is putting out there. So it means there's some issue that has to be addressed if the foreign minister appears and we ask him questions.
The Okankwe Central MP also urged the Speaker and leadership of the House to summon the Foreign Minister, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, without delay.
If you registered over 1,500 Ghanaians and you've been able to evacuate only 300, what is happening to the rest of our nationals? What is going to happen with those who did not register? Because we know that a lot of Ghanaians occupy top positions in South Africa in many institutions or companies, the municipalities, the defense sector, and in other financial institutions there. We don't want this situation to derail our relationship with South Africa. So it's very important that the foreign minister appears before the House. I've been calling on him to appear before the House so that we can interrogate matters dispassionately. Diplomacy has nothing to do with propaganda and mischief. He may have a case, the South Africans may have a case with immigration or migration issues. We may also have a point as a House to assist in addressing the matter. So I think our call must be heeded by the leadership of Parliament, by the Speakership, to invite the Foreign Minister. It's getting to over a month now. We haven't heard from the Foreign Minister on this particular issue, very important issue, and we think it's about time that we put it out there to put on some pressure or pile on some pressure to get him to appear before the House.
Now, a growing wave of anti-migrant violence in South Africa is rapidly escalating into a regional diplomatic crisis, forcing governments across Africa to evacuate their citizens amid reports of killings, assaults, displacement, looting, and vigilante attacks. Nearly 1,000 Ghanaians have already been airlifted home, while more than 1,000 Nigerians have registered for voluntary repatriation. Stanley Nibleu has been monitoring developments and has filed this report.
What began as an anti-immigration demonstrations in several South African cities and towns has evolved into one of the most serious outbreaks of xenophobic violence in recent years. Foreign nationals across parts of South Africa say they are living in fear as tensions fuel attacks, intimidation, forced displacement, and growing uncertainty. According to South Africa's 2022 census, the country hosts more than 2.4 million international migrants, representing nearly 4% of the population. The largest migrant communities originate from Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Lesotho, and Malawi. While Ghana does not appear among the top 10 countries of origin in the latest census breakdown, thousands of Ghanaians are known to live and work in South Africa. The latest violence has drawn regional concern following reports of attacks targeting foreign nationals in several communities. The deadliest incident so far has been reported in Mosel Bay. Mozambique says 5 of its citizens were killed during anti-immigrant violence there. South African police have publicly confirmed the discovery of 2 Mozambican men with assault-related injuries and have separately reported the death of a South African teenager during the unrest. On Wednesday, June 10, 2026, more than 10 unidentified gunmen stormed an informal settlement near Johannesburg, fatally shooting 12 people and wounding 9 others. The nationalities of these victims have not been confirmed. The violence has triggered panic among migrant communities. Reports from the Western Cape describe Mozambican and Malawian migrants hiding in mountains, shelters, and community halls after receiving threats. Human rights organizations say the attacks are extending beyond isolated incidents. Ghana has emerged as one of the countries most directly affected by the crisis. The government launched a 3-phase evacuation operation that has now brought home 979 Ghanaian nationals. The evacuations followed widespread concern after videos circulated online show a Ghanaian national being confronted in the KwaZulu-Natal province and ordered to leave South Africa. The current wave of unrest has also revived painful memories of previous outbreaks of xenophobic violence in South Africa. In 2008, 62 people were killed during nationwide attacks. Subsequent waves of violence were recorded in 2015, 2019, and again between 2021 and 2022. South African authorities now face mounting pressure to restore order and reassure neighboring countries.
As communities and as a society, we must not be tempted to join those who want us to turn against people who were not born in South Africa and who are in our midst.
For now, the humanitarian, diplomatic and security consequences continue to spread beyond South Africa's borders, with some countries evacuating their citizens and migrants remaining in hiding.
Now, Minister for the Interior, Mohamed Muntaka Mubarak, says security agencies have drawn important lessons from the disturbances that characterized the Ablekuma North by-election and are taking steps to prevent a recurrence. Addressing Parliament, the minister indicated that the Ghana Police Service has reviewed its operational approach to election security, a move he says contributed to the relatively peaceful conduct of subsequent by-elections in Akosombo. The revised measures will serve as the blueprint for police and future elections across the country.
The post-incident review conducted by the Ghana Police Service and other security agencies following the Ablekuma North constituency by-election violence identified several institutional and operational lapses that affected the overall management of the event. In response to these findings, the Ghana Police Service took deliberate and structured steps to address the weaknesses. Among the measures implemented were the establishment of an election security intelligence cell to enhance early warning system and risk analysis, strengthening of interagency collaboration through unified command structure, and improvement in the resource deployment and rapid response capability. The service also intensified training for officers in crowd control and de-escalation, instituted stricter accountability and reporting mechanism, and enhanced its public information and stakeholder engagement strategy to build transparency and trust. Mr. Speaker, the lessons learned from the Ablekuma North experience were given due attention and effectively integrated into subsequent security election operations. This strategic adjustment translated into a successful, peaceful, and incident-free conduct of the Akosombo by-election. The Ghana Police Service received commendation from the Electoral Commission, the political parties, election observers, and the general public for its professionalism, proactive intelligence gathering, timely deployment, and impartial enforcement during the Akosombo polls. The performance of the service at Akosombo stands as a clear evidence of institutional learning, improved operational coordination, and enhanced public confidence in the capability of the Ghana Police Service to provide effective election security across the country. Thank you.
Now, he further disclosed that the police will strengthen coordination with the military and other security agencies to enhance election security operations and ensure a more effective response to potential threats.
One of the major things was like the lack of coordination among the security agencies. It's like they go to the election, everybody has his own plan, and they just go in, and therefore sometimes when there's a problem, you don't even know who is to be allowed to be in charge. So this is one major thing that was dealt with, was identified and was dealt with effectively. Two, de-escalation. When you are at a police station and something happened, and then there's some kind of chaos, what do you do? Because there was no coordination, they were all handled differently. And sometimes they stand aloof thinking that maybe the national security should handle, or the prisons should handle, or immigration should be the one, or the police is the one to handle it. This was identified, and they also worked to make sure that when there's the need to de-escalate, they know who to talk to. Three, they also identify intelligence, on the ground before, during, and after, as also another lapse. And this was also enhanced to the extent that you realize that in the case of Akosombo, when they went to Akosombo and the other elections, they had to even go ahead days before to mount street cameras so they can see what is happening, who is going in and who is going out. All these things were identified, and Mr. Speaker, they were dealt with, and now it has become part of their modus operandi, how they will be operating into the future. So I want to assure my colleague that a lot of lessons were learned from the Ablekuma North by-election, and a lot has been done since to ensure that should we have any by-election, some of the things that happen should not happen.
Now, away from Parliament, the committee set up to look into the Akosombo dam fire outbreak has attributed the inferno to insulation failure, making the nation lose power of about 1,000 megawatts. The committee was given 4 weeks to come up with a report detailing lapses and possible recommendations. Yes, the Energy Minister, John Jinapo, who received the report and assured that recommendations will be put to good use.
So this should be a wake-up call for us so that we can strengthen the system, make it more responsive, improve our emergency response system, maintenance culture, and more importantly, invest in the grid in order to have a resilient energy sector. So I will communicate to His Excellency the President, and I'm sure that he will formally thank you. Already I know that the control center, a temporary one, is being built using containerized structures because we can't continue to evacuate power the way we're doing it. This is a temporary measure. Beyond the containerized one, we've given us an indication that we need to build a state-of-the-art, ultra-modern control room that is fit for purpose. I mean, to continue to use that building since 1964, a lot has changed, and we need to also change to adapt to emerging situations. This will have caused a lot of investment, and to invest, you need to spend money or capital judiciously and efficiently. And that's why we are doing whatever we can to improve the sector. I believe that the energy sector should eventually be self-reliant. We can't continue to fall on the national budget for huge sums of money to subsidize that sector. We could have used those monies for hospitals, for schools, and for other social interventions.
Well, Energy Minister John Jinapo there. We'll take our very first break here on News Central. But up ahead on the news. The 2026 FIFA World Cup officially kicks off today. Did I mention the opening ceremony is live here on TV3? More of that when we return.
In a world full of noise, clarity matters. Stories shape us, ideas challenge us, and honest dialogue moves us forward. This is a space for depth, where voices are heard and perspectives matter. Conversations with Dr. Abnanya Kwasmini, coming soon on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Is changing, not slowly, not quietly. In the north, the rains that once arrived on time don't come anymore. In the middle belt, rivers and forests disappearing overnight. Along the coast, the sea is swallowing land that families have called home for generations. Rising temperatures, failed harvests, homes lost to tides. This is not a warning about tomorrow. This is the world right now. TV3 and the German Embassy in Ghana. The conversation on climate security implications in Ghana. The Climate Talks 2026. 5 cities, 5 conversations, 1 urgent call to action. Tamale, Bolgatanga, Kumasi, Keta, Accra, starting this June 2026. The climate talks are coming, and this time, the people most affected by Ghana's climate security crisis will be at the center of it all. Because the time for Ghana to act is now. In a world full of noise, clarity matters. Stories shape us, ideas challenge us. An honest dialogue moves us forward. This is a space for depth, where voices are heard and perspectives matter. Conversations with Dr. Abnanya Akosombo, coming soon on TV3.
TV3, first in news.
Around us is changing, not slowly, not quietly. In the north, the rains that once arrived on time don't come anymore. In the middle belt, rivers and forests disappearing overnight. Along the coast, the sea is swallowing land that families have called home for generations. Rising temperatures, failed harvests, homes lost to tides. This is not a warning about tomorrow. This is the world right now. TV3 and the German Embassy in Ghana, the conversation on climate security implications in Ghana.
There was a time when an ordinary afternoon became a national memory. Ghana at the World Cup for the first time.
Then came the night we stood one kick from eternity.
And he hits the bar!
And football reminded us how close glory can come before it disappears.
Then came the noise when the battle was not only on the pitch, and the nation asked itself what had happened to the dream.
Then came the old ghosts, a new team, a new fire, the same heartbreak.
But this country knows how to return. 20 years after the first dream, Ghana is going back.
Every story deserves another chapter.
This one will be bigger than ever.
48 teams.
3 countries, 1 world stage.
Every goal,
every tear,
every argument,
every moment. TV3 will live it with you.
TV3, your home of the
2026 FIFA World Cup.
Because this time, the story is not just being told, it is being lived.
Now, the 2026 FIFA World Cup officially kicks off today with tournament co-host Mexico facing South Africa in the opening match. The Group A clash takes place at the historic Estadio Azteca, making it the first venue ever to host 3 World Cup opening matches following 1970 and 1986 openings. This fixture is a direct mirror image of the 2010 World Cup opener. Bill is from 3 Sports with more on this opening ceremony and, generally also the coverage, right?
Yeah.
But I learned from that 16 years ago, Mexico and South Africa were in the opener as well.
Yeah, that was in Johannesburg with the Vuvuzelas very, very loud.
Uh-huh.
I remember watching the game on my sofa back at home, and that game ended 1-1 between Mexico and South Africa.
Right.
It was a very exciting game to watch.
16 years.
16 years ago.
It makes you also think about how old you are now. Like,
yeah.
16 years ago, you were watching.
I was watching.
And now you are a presenter.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the coverage,
yes.
right? We'll come back to what the game is likely to be today, whether or not it's going to be another mirror image for the two teams. But our coverage is large. Our coverage is in charge. What can you tell us?
Yes, we did open up our coverage. We showed the big kickoff, which was a precursor to what we have in store for you on TV3. Of course, we have 3 main shows around the World Cup. One is Mundial Live. That is the live show for all the live matches. We'll be showing 34 matches in total for the World Cup. The first match will be actually today when Mexico take on South Africa at the Estadio Azteca Stadium. And then we also have Mundial Daily. That replaces the usual Sports Daily, which is on the weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each day. It's focused on the World Cup only. Everything World Cup will be on Mundial Daily. We also have a fan show, which you should look out for next week. It's all about the fans from outside the country, from within the country as well. And all what they say on social media, all of them will be shown on our fan show, of course, during the World Cup as well.
I see. And that, promo for the World Cup coverage is fantastic. I just need to add.
Thank you.
And you have a new studio as well.
Yes.
Just because you love your audiences so much.
Yes.
So you built a new studio for the coverage.
That studio is for the Mundial Live. You see a lot of the pundits, the host as well. I'll be there. And you see some faces that you've not seen in a while actually come to the studio to deliver expert analysis for the World Cup.
And we know the coverage started yesterday.
Yep.
But today is a very big one for you guys because we are covering the opening ceremony live.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Yes, the opening ceremony starts at 5:30 p.m. and we'll definitely start the discussion even before that, around 4:30 p.m. In that new studio for Mundial Live. That's the first Mundial Live of the World Cup. And the match itself starts at 7 p.m. and will run up until around 9 p.m. So you do expect a lot of action and a lot of time dedicated to the opening ceremony and also to the match. The opening ceremony happening about 1 hour, 30 minutes before the match. It's never happened before. And that goes to show how big this World Cup is. 48 teams. It's the first time we are ever having this many teams actually playing the World Cup. So a lot to expect in the next 39 days.
I can't wait. But then let's talk about the opening match between Mexico and South Africa. You mentioned earlier, 16 years ago, it was a 1-1 draw for that match. What do you expect? Or what is industry saying about how this could turn out 16 years on?
It's funny, I've looked at a number of comments on social media. The Ghanaians are supporting Mexico today.
For obvious reasons.
Yes, I see people actually draw up names, Mexican names for themselves. Someone called himself Angel de la Cruz, and he is supporting Mexico for today. But I mean, that's just by the way. I think Mexico as a co-host are going to be strong. South Africa as a team that also has performed so well on the African continent, not so much on the world stage. They would also give Mexico a run for their money. I would be a bit in the middle and say both teams will score. It would end up in a draw.
Well, you're a good citizen, but we the bad ones know what we are saying, right? but boot for boot, what are the strengths of each of these teams?
Yeah, for Mexico as the host country, I mean, I watched a bit of how they performed against the Black Stars. I mean, the second string, third string Black Stars. And I think they're pressing very, very strong. They're good when it comes to finishing, so you have to look out for that. And I'm looking forward to their goalkeeper, Guillermo Ochoa. He has been in about 6 World Cups now. That's a lot of experience when it comes to, World Cup. And so that's one guy you have to look forward to. With South Africa, a lot of their players are coming from the South African League. We saw them perform quite well at the 2023 AFCON, for example. 2025, they didn't go as far, but they do have some experience. They have a very good coach in Hugo Bruce, and he has so much experience on the African continent that he would want to translate to the world stage. So it's going to be an interesting tie between
Absolutely.
the two
So it
teams.
doesn't matter where the fan support is now. South Africa is coming with a good team.
Yeah, they do. They're actually coming with a good team. A team that has a lot of experience together. That's the thing. Most of them play for Mamelodi Sundowns and other local teams in South Africa, and that is one of the biggest local teams in African football. So that experience is there, that camaraderie is there, and that's something Mexico do have to deal with during the World Cup.
I see. And you say this coverage starts at what time?
It starts around 4:30 p.m. on TV3 in that new studio that that you'll be talking about to me on the side.
Rub it in.
Yeah. And that's the first iteration of Mundial Live. So the opening ceremony will start showing at 5:30 p.m. and then the match will begin at 7 p.m. Up until the final whistle is blown.
Until the final whistle, and the entire sports team will be there. We're seeing them on our TV already. Yourself, Oreku. Give me the names. Come on.
So Oreku, Adjoa Noella is actually joining us from the.
I saw that yesterday.
Side.
It was such a beautiful sight to see.
Yes, and then there's Mutala in there at the middle. There's myself, and then there's Aniela Alote. There's also Akosia AJ who will be joining in as well. Handling the social media.
Akosia is camera shy. She's not in there. I wonder why. Akosia, we want to see more of you.
Oh, she'll be in there. She will be in there. You see her a lot during the World Cup.
And that was the first set of guests that you brought on yesterday. Very fantastic conversations you had. I can't wait for 4 p.m., you say?
Yes.
4 p.m. today.
Yes. From 4:30
when pre-discussions begin. Thank you so much for joining us here, Bill. Bill Eshen is with 3 Sports. We've just been looking at that coverage. TV3 and all media general platforms will be bringing you starting today at 4:30 on the back of the World Cup. Remember, there will be pre-discussions. There will be the opening ceremony itself, and then the opener, the match between Mexico and South Africa. Stay tuned to all our platforms. In the meantime, we'll take you across the regions on News Central. Now, 6 suspects have been arrested in connection with the cultivation of cannabis at Nsuta in the Okere district of the Eastern region. The Drug Law Enforcement Unit of the Criminal Investigations Department is currently at the site destroying approximately 4-acre cannabis farm as investigations continue.
Every police officer is wild when it comes to the use of drugs. And wherever you are or wherever you may want to do your plantation or cultivation, trust me, when we get a hint, we will come after you, and we will not come low-key, we will come hard at you. So please, my very advice to the youth is that it is possible to stay away from drugs, okay? And so that is the only responsibility I urge you, to stay away from these drugs, because when we lay hands on you, trust me, it is then that you know that the law has a long arm and we will not spare you.
Now, mother of the newborn baby who went missing at the Salaga Government Hospital says she is traumatized, sad and depressed at the thought that her baby girl has been stolen. She wants her newborn found and returned to her. On Wednesday, June 10th, 2026, a newborn baby reportedly went missing at the Salaga Government Hospital. Investigations have begun since then, leading to the arrest of 2 members of staff of the neonatal intensive care unit and midwifery unit. Well, Christopher Mwako is our correspondent who's been reporting on the story since news broke last night. Christopher, what other developments do we know in regards to the family?
Yes, so Kemini, the family is still traumatized about the incident. As we speak, the husband and other family members have followed the police to Tamale to ensure that they also take part in the court proceedings. The woman we speak, the mother, has been stabilized and is in a normal state, and according to her, she's traumatized about the whole incident and very sad. She's also expressed disappointment in the circumstances leading to the disappearance of her baby. Let's take a listen to what she's been telling us. Okay, Cecilia, what to say? Okay, yet say wabe wo Salaga Hospital, Ubano, so ye kase Ubano. Saying now, how do you feel?
No, Oma Yam Akolano. So, me, my mimo, Omo be fair no Akolano. No, Oma Penise, Omo fair Akolano. No, Omo say Akolano, no home fano. Me kuno koto adrono, Omo be fair Akolano. Temi kuno akota adrono, Omo fair Akolano. Na, ma veda mpanaso. Akolano, Omo fair Akolano mame. Temi kuno ne me mame no, Omo ahuna Akolano. Na ma sorry akwa bi so mo se akola no wa yi no mo se akola no wa ba bi mo fe akola no me ko fe no akola no ni wo na ma be chero mo ko fe na akola no ni wo
ba wa akola no de wa hu akola no nim
ba cho ma ho no
oyo ba na be ma
oyo ba
nti sisi ano a wo hu akola no wapomudin ti se wankasa no sen na asem no esi fa yewo
asano the asino say akola no omo anfa akola na mame ti eni na ha me.
All right, so basically what this woman is saying is that after delivering, yes, she actually saw the baby is a female, but later when she inquired to have a feel of the baby, she was told that the baby was nowhere to be found. And as it stands now, more than 24 hours, the baby is still not found. And so she's worried, she's traumatized, even though she's in a stable condition.
Now, Christopher, what are hospital authorities telling the family at this time?
Yes, so the hospital authorities earlier today engaged with the family. And according to them, yesterday when the incident happened, tensions were high, and so they could not engage the family. But this morning, they've been able to engage the family. They've also counseled them. They've counseled the woman and the husband, and they are hopeful that in the coming days, they are going to collaborate well with the police to ensure that whoever that is responsible for this particular incident will be apprehended and brought to book. Let's take a listen to what the administrator of the hospital has been telling us earlier.
Yeah, this was an incident that was brought to our attention, myself and the medical superintendent, whilst we were on our way to Salaga. So quickly we informed the staff to make a formal report to the police. Because this is something strange to us. As a hospital, we have never experienced this situation. So we had to report to the police for the police to take it up. What Salaga Hospital is known for, in fact, is taking care of abandoned babies that have been abandoned and brought to this institution. So it was something that was very traumatizing and worrying to the hospital management. And then the management felt that they should involve the police. So this incident was also reported to the Regional Director of Health Services. And as we talk, the Regional Director has constituted a team who are on their way to Salaga to also come and assess the situation and get the facts and circumstances surrounding the whole incident. We have engaged the family. Yesterday, the atmosphere was so tense.
Well, Christopher, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you so much for the reporting. We'll now turn attention to the Ashanti region, where commuters traveling between Kumasi, Mampong and Ejura have once again been left stranded after the Sataso Bridge collapsed following hours of heavy rainfall. The bridge initially caved in on May 18, cutting off access and leaving hundreds of commuters stranded. The collapse disrupted transportation and economic activities, affecting residents, traders, farmers and motorists who depend on the route for daily movements and business activities. Now, although contractors moved to the site the next day to begin reconstruction works, the bridge has caved in again before the project could be completed, forcing travelers and nearby residents to grapple with inconvenience. Ibrahim Abubakar is at the scene, joins us with more details on the story. Ibrahim, what's the situation there now?
So, Germany, still we have scores of commuters and motorists stranded here. Some were here as early as 1 a.m. and judging by the current situation, I would say it will be extremely difficult for vehicles to be able to use this route today. So many travelers are now being forced to look for alternative routes. However, that option comes with some inconvenience because motorists would have to travel back to Kumasi or Finsu towards Techiman before connecting to routes leading to Idra, Tebubu, and even Yeji. And there is also an alternative route through Kofiase, but the road is likely to be unmotorable today due to the recent heavy rains. And as you rightly mentioned, after the bridge collapse, work started and everything appears to now go back to square one. So currently you will see a lot of people still standing. It's even difficult for you to walk from one end of the bridge to the other. So what some of the residents are doing is that they have brought in some wooden slabs and they are placing it there. But you have to cross at a fee. They are charging as high as 10, 20 Ghana cedis before they allow you to walk past the bridge. So that is the situation there. And for those who are stranded here and even residents, they are just hoping that government will intervene swiftly and make sure they fix the situation. Let's listen to what some of the stranded commuters have been sharing with you.
Into Prime. So when I reached here, I saw the bridge has just broke. So we can't pass here. So we are just pleading to the government to come and help us, you understand. No, I can't go to Prime again. I have to go back to Kumasi. Unless I go and use another route from Uamwase and go and pass with some other road. That one, so because of the raining, that road will be very, very muddy there, so I can't pass there. So I have to go back home and go and rest.
Me patro ya baase be tu mo ye bedru na bridge ne kesi na eto na ebu ye gina atu nu sa ma 11 na boy enti esrega na for momo e kwentufo be bi e koso ye kwa ne wa ise nso eje die last na nso na etu take say e kofi nye be di mpo e de no so mo hwe no mo ma kwa ne ma na drivers so no mo nya kwa fa ndu fi by all means ye better because o man be ya eni bebi akọ nti da ye better say ye in this case so say ye be say ye cha kofa another car adoje akọ.
Ibrahim, you're telling us that the queue we see behind you are people waiting to pay to cross. What are authorities doing about the situation?
Well, for now, I've not cited any official. We were told that the MC was here in the morning to assess the situation. They are still in talks with the contractor. Mind you, the contractor was still working. In fact, the information we picked from residents was that the contractor has been working day and night to be able to fix this situation, only for what happened today to have happened. And as you can see, everything has gone back to square zero. But now, the authorities are not doing anything, or I would say they can't do much. But then, like I said, people will have to pay a fee before you are allowed to use the wooden slabs. But for those who are injured or the sick, I've seen some people and students, the residency allow them to cross free of charge. But others are being charged between 10 cedis and 20 cedis before being allowed to cross.
Ibrahim, we'll leave it here for now. This is a story we'll bring updates on in subsequent broadcasts. Away from that, heavy floods have submerged 3 major access routes leading to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, leaving hundreds of students, staff and commuters stranded following hours of torrential rainfall overnight. The floods have severely disrupted movement in and around the university, with several academic activities reportedly affected and some lectures cancelled as a precautionary measure. Our correspondent, Daryl Agbozo, is at the KNUST joining us with a bit more on this. Daryl, bring us up to speed on happenings on campus.
Okay, Kennedy. So the aftermath of the heavy rainfall overnight
that is continuing to disrupt activities here at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, with flooding, rendering 3 major access routes to the university impassable. That is, the flood waters have left students, university staff, and commuters stranded significantly, affecting movement in and around campus. Also, many workers and motorists attempting to use these affected areas were forced to turn back after realizing that the route had become inaccessible. So in response to this situation, the KNUST management has deployed a substantial number of university buses to transport students between various points on campus and nearby accessible locations in an effort to minimize that is disruption. Security personnel have, however, also been stationed at strategic locations across the university to prevent students and members of the public from attempting to cross these flooded sections on foot. Several barricades have also been erected along major roads and entry points to restrict access and public safety as authorities monitor the situation. So the flooding has also affected academic activities just a bit, with some lectures reportedly being cancelled due to transportation challenges and safety concerns. However, other classes appear to be proceeding as scheduled, particularly in areas with less affected by the floods. So as of now, the affected roads remain closed to traffic, and university authorities are urging students and commuters to exercise caution while awaiting weather conditions and water levels.
Well, Daryl, thank you so much for the report. And Daryl Agbozo is a student reporter from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. We'll now head to the Bono East region, where educational activities at the Mori Opoku MA Basic School has been halted following this dawn's heavy rains, which have flooded the school compound, making it difficult to get access to classrooms. Belinda Tete is standing right in the middle of the floods and joins us with the very latest on this. Belinda, tell us more about what you have seen in the school.
Right. If you can see right beside me, this is the current situation of Mare Opoku MA Basic School. And this has been the situation whenever it rains. And mind you, the students cannot access classrooms because, as you can see, the whole place is flooded. There is even the flood subsiding. That is how come you see, but it could come as far as where the pavement level is. And it is quite a worry because they are kept here. And so even if the teachers try their best to get the grown-up ones into the classrooms, they're kept here in trying to also get in, can easily flip and fall down, which is quite a worry because if they are forcing them to get into the classroom and learn, we can easily record fatalities or casualties here due to drowning or similar situations. Kimini.
Well, very well, Belinda. And, you know, what are authorities doing to ensure that continuous rain this season does not interfere with schoolwork?
Right, and so school authorities told me that this has been happening for 6 years continuously. And initially it happens during October, September, thereabout. But because the rains have started early, that is how come we are experiencing this season. Now, they told me they have informed the local authorities, they've informed the assemblies to make sure they come in to salvage the situation. But whenever they come, they don't see any follow-up or they don't see any move to try and salvage the situation. And so today they've decided to go through the media to channel their worries to the national level to see if, as soon as possible, something can be done to salvage the situation.
Well, great reporting there. Thank you so much, Belinda Tete. Belinda Tete is on the ground bringing reports from the Bono East region where floods have truncated teaching and learning at one of the schools there. Now, Ghana's new marine protected area of Cape 3 Points is already under threat with Hen Mpoano warning that illegal mining upstream is choking fisheries and mangroves with toxic sediments. This was revealed during a tour of the site by Norwegian Ambassador to Ghana, John Mikkel Vistad. Irama Smith has more.
Declared in April 2026, the Greater Cape 3 Points Marine Protected Area (MPA) was meant to restore fisheries and protect biodiversity. But less than 2 months on, pollution from inland mining is flowing into estuaries at Butre, Nyan and beyond.
About 3 or 4 major rivers are emptied into the MPA. And so with the this effluent, we are getting a lot of sediment which has some other chemicals that are not very good and I mean that are not very healthy for the fish. The sediment also settle on the coast and also in the mangroves, destroying the habitat and also contaminating the water as well. So it's very big issue. It's also affecting tourism because tourists are not comfortable swimming in our water and also enjoying the fish that is produced from the marine area.
Yanpuanu says MPAs are also grappling with poor roads, seaweed choking the shore, and land disputes. But it insists it is pushing ahead with communities.
It's all about the weeds. Whenever you try to clean the beach and the weeds also come, it's somehow serious for us. It's a big challenge and we don't have tools to also to do the work as well. It is telling us a lot. Whenever there's fishermen go to the sea, they don't get fish at all because of the illegal mining.
Norway's ambassador John Mikael Christian, who was touring the coast with Yanpuanu, has reaffirmed support for Ghana's blue economy and coastal management.
The government of Norway has supported this project for many, many years, and we shall continue to do that. Our local partners are doing hard work, and I'm here to see some of the results this week. So I'm visiting several communities along the coast, enjoying it, being satisfied of what we are seeing here. I'm here with the team from the Norwegian Embassy, and it's important for us to talk to people, meet people locally, and not just read reports about it, that we also think is very useful, but to meet the people and to hear the stories. They have been doing this for a very long time, and it's a specific reason why we are supporting them. It's because they are professional and very good at it.
The message is clear. Unless illegal mining upstream is kept, Ghana's new marine sanctuary could be lost before it even takes root. Irama Smith, TV3 News, Western Region.
Keep in mind that there will be a live coverage of the opening ceremony of the World Cup here on TV3 and all other media general platforms. It begins at 4:30 here with pre-discussions. We will also bring you a live coverage of that opening match between South Africa and Mexico. Make sure to tune in then. But that'll be all for News Central. I'm Kemeni Amana. Bye-bye.